These words are not spoken to soothe emotions. They are not whispered to ease discomfort. They are proclaimed to awaken faith. They are a summons to every believer who has ever stood frozen at the edge of uncertainty, to every heart carrying silent fear, to every soul wondering if the chaos has finally grown too loud. And if that's you, listening right now, carrying questions you don't say out loud, hear this with clarity. Do not fear. God is still in control. We live in a world that never stops shaking. Bad news travels faster than hope. Tragedy dominates the headlines. Stability feels temporary, and peace feels fragile. One day things are fine. The next day, everything changes. Health declines. Relationships fracture. Finances tighten. Dreams stall. And slowly, almost unnoticed fear takes its seat in the heart. But hear me today. The throne of heaven has not moved. God has not lost authority. He has not stepped away. And he has not surrendered control. Look back through Scripture and you'll see it again and again. God's people surrounded by uncertainty, pressed by pressure, shaken by storms, and yet never abandoned. Consider Job, a man described as blameless, faithful, blessed beyond measure. And then, without warning, everything collapsed. His wealth vanished. His health failed. His children were gone. His closest companions turned into critics. From the outside, it looked like chaos. From heaven's perspective, it was still order. And in the middle of his pain, Job declared, "Even if he takes everything from me, I will still trust him." That wasn't denial. That was revelation. Job understood something fear never wants you to see. God can be silent and still be sovereign. Even when answers are absent, control is not. So let me ask you, what are you afraid of right now? The unknown? The diagnosis? The delay? The uncertainty of what comes next? That quiet fear that keeps you awake when the lights are off? Hear this truth. The same God who brought you here will carry you through. He has not brought you this far to abandon you now. He is not a distant observer watching your struggle unfold. He is present, active, engaged. Scripture says he never sleeps, never slumbers, never looks away. Remember the disciples on the sea, experienced fishermen, strong, confident, until the storm rose. Waves crashed, wind screamed, the boat filled with water, and fear took over. They looked around and thought they were done. But what they didn't realize was this: Jesus was in the boat, and while they panicked, he rested. Not because the storm wasn't real, but because the storm was never in control. When they woke him, he didn't struggle. He didn't wrestle the wind. He spoke, and everything obeyed. Then he asked them a question that still echoes today. Why are you afraid? That question wasn't condemnation. It was invitation. An invitation to trust. Because when God is with you, the storm may rage, but it does not rule. Fear grows when we forget who is in the boat. Fear thrives when we focus on the waves instead of the one who commands them. But Scripture reminds us, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Not distant, not delayed, very present, even when the ground shakes, even when stability disappears, even when the future feels unclear. He is still in control. Fear convinces us we are at the mercy of circumstances. But that is a lie. You are not at the mercy of the storm. You are held by the hand of a sovereign God. The enemy uses fear to distract you, to weaken you, to convince you that God has lost grip. But hear me clearly. God has never lost control, not once. Not in history, not in Scripture, not in your life. Some of you are facing situations that feel impossible. You don't see the solution. You don't know the timing. You don't understand the delay. But trust this, God is working even when you cannot see it. Joseph didn't see the palace when he was thrown into the pit. He didn't see purpose when he was imprisoned. He didn't see destiny when he was forgotten. But God was moving the entire time. And when Joseph stood at the end of the story, he could say, "What you meant for evil, God turned for good." Fear never gets the final word. God does. You see, God's control does not mean life will be painless. It means pain is never pointless. It does not mean storms won't come. It means storms won't win. Faith is not pretending everything is fine. Faith is trusting God even when it's not. The world tells you to take control, to depend on your strength, to figure everything out. But Scripture tells us something better. Surrender, because peace is not found in control. It is found in trust. Abraham didn't know where he was going. Esther didn't know how deliverance would come. Paul didn't know how long suffering would last. But they all knew one thing. God was faithful, and he still is. There is a peace available to you today. Not the fragile peace the world offers, not the kind that depends on circumstances, but a peace that stands in the middle of chaos and does not move. Scripture says, "Do not be anxious about anything, and the peace of God, which surpasses understanding, will guard your heart and mind." That peace does not come from answers. It comes from trust. So I ask you today, will you trust him? Will you release the fear? Will you stop rehearsing worst-case scenarios? Will you stop carrying what was never meant to be yours? Because the weight you feel right now was never meant for your shoulders. God is strong enough to carry it. Even at the cross, God was in control. What looked like defeat was victory. What looked like loss was redemption. What looked like darkness was the greatest light the world has ever seen. Jesus was not overpowered. He was fulfilling purpose. And because of that, your future is secure. So hear this and let it settle deep. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not alone. The same God who formed the universe is holding your life. The road ahead may be unclear, but God is certain. His promises are secure. His timing is perfect. His control is complete. Do not fear. God is in control. Let that truth anchor you. Let it steady you. Let it silence the noise. No matter the storm, no matter the delay, no matter the unknown, he still reigns. And that is more than enough.